It seems like a new place, like a new time. Things are starting to get more real. But one has to wonder why? Why do we exist in the first place? How did we get here? How did we get on this earth at this time to do what we're doing right now in this body? And those are questions that we really can't answer. Like, we can try our best to answer them, but it's not going to make sense. It's like an ant trying to understand the internet. But I'm going to attempt to give you some type of order and purpose in this random chaos. I'm going to be discussing 5 major points about life: existence, love, pain and challenges, joy, and the journey of life. First, existence. We exist for a purpose. We were chosen out of all the thousands of all the millions, trillions, quadrillions of possibilities to be on this earth at this moment, at this time, with this family, with these friends, doing what we're doing. Science can't answer how. Of course, egg, sperm, baby, whatever. But God is the only thing that can answer why. Seems like everything in life is some type of cycle. Like, it goes forward, but it repeats. Like, every year, there's winter, spring, summer, fall. There's January, February, March, etc. There's our birthdays, there's Christmas, there's Easter, there's Thanksgiving, there's Halloween, there's the Super Bowl. It's like the same thing that goes on and on and on. But, in the midst of all these little repetitions, we experience new things. Like life, a new birth, death, marriage, learning, meeting new people, doing new things, discovering things about ourselves, about others, about the universe, about God. But it's the same thing. It's still January, February, March, Christmas, Easter, whatever, Super Bowl, playoffs, whatever you measure time in a year by. Well, one important thing to recognize is the temporalness of everything. Everything is temporary. From our lives, from money, food. When you eat food, it's consumed. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Everything is temporary. People, the universe, the world, the earth. One day the earth will explode. Stars explode and become black holes. Everything is temporary. Once you realize that everything is temporary, it's not to become cynical and see things as, they're going to go anyway, so I might as well not care or pay attention. But embrace what you have at a particular time and at a particular moment, but wear everything like a loose garment. You don't want to become too attached to anything, because when it's time for that thing to be released or time for that thing to move on, it can devastate you. Another weird phenomena of life is love. What is love? Like, how can you define it? 1 Corinthians 13 describes it in different attributes of love, which is patient, kind, long-suffering, it never fails. But the love that is portrayed nowadays, like on TV, it's all about sex, it's all about lust, it's all about temporary. It's very temporary. Like, love is very temporary. Marriage right now, monogamy is becoming the enemy. It seems like right now, the whole agenda is to get rid of monogamy and say that monogamy is the reason for, it says, the curse of love. But that's because that's what it's become. People have become so selfish that they do things. Love is unselfish. Love is putting another person before yourself. But when it becomes selfishness, you putting yourself before that person so that you can get whatever you can get out of the situation and feel a certain feeling and feel loved. But it's sacrificing yourself for another person. That's love. Love isn't an emotion. It's an action. Massive Attack says, love is a verb. Love is a doing word. Feel like someone prayed. And she said love is a doing word. So that's why I consider myself the love activist, because it's an action. It's something you choose to do. You choose to love a person. Love is unconditional. It's despite what that person does. It's despite how that person is. And it doesn't expect anything in return. So love is a multi-dimensional feature of the universe. God is love. An attribute of God is love. And since we are created in God's image, we reflect some of his attributes. So since God is the full being of love, we have like a little crumb of love to work with here on earth. But it's a beautiful thing to strive after. Why do we go through stuff? It's like, why does life have to be so complicated? And we have to go through pain and loss and failure and rejection and all these hurtful things in life. Every single thing we go through, either we can look at it from the perspective of being negative, like the world is against me, God is against me, God hates me, why is he putting me through this? Forget God in the first place. Why do I believe in something that's just making me hurt worse? We can see problems and issues as a negative thing, like, oh, this is just the end of the world. Or we can perceive problems as a positive thing. If you want to live life more fulfilling, change your perspective. Everything that we go through in life is something to make us better. Loss, pain, hurt, everything that we go through is something to better us, to cause us to go through some type of change to make us into a better person. I always bring up the metamorphosis thing. When a caterpillar is in a cocoon, it doesn't feel good. It's being restricted. It's being held back and it's growing, so it's pain. But then it eventually becomes a butterfly. So when we go through just like working out, when you lift weights or do push-ups, I did some push-ups today, look at my muscles, haha. But when you're doing push-ups or exercising, it hurts, man. Like, it hurts. Your thighs burn, your arms burn, your legs burn, whatever. But in the end, you grow. And that's what pain and stuff that doesn't make sense to us does. It helps us to grow. Helps us to become better. And it also helps other people around us to be bettered. Our purpose in life is to love. Our other purpose in life is to better. Love is betterment. When you love a person, it's not about yourself. Like I said, it's about sacrifice and not just being a doormat or letting people run over you, but it's about bettering another person. If everything you do when you love a person is the intention of bettering them, that's real love. And that sometimes real love hurts, because in order for you to become better, you have to be deprived of something, or you have to do something you don't want to do. Now I'm not saying anything that's immoral, but just like you love a child, the child wants candy. You tell him no. It makes him mad. It hurts him. But it betters him, because he's healthier in the future. So love sometimes hurts, but it's for the betterment of yourself and for another person. God loves us in the same way. Everything that we go through is for our betterment, for the betterment of mankind, and for the betterment of the world. I've experienced a lot of pain in my life. It seems like my life is full of disappointments. My heart has been broken many times. My dreams have been broken many times. And I choose not to be cynical. I could say I quit all this, obviously my life isn't working out, whatever. Or I could say forget love, forget boys, forget life, forget getting married. My heart's been broken too many times. But no. One thing I discovered through being hurt is that sometimes the greatest expression of yourself, your inner self, the greatest expression of who you are comes out during pain. I become so creative, like extremely creative when I'm hurt. And also, I'm not masochistic or anything, but a lot of creativity comes from being hurt. Comes from pain. It's birthed out of pain. Birth comes out of pain. When you have a baby, it hurts, but then beauty comes from it. And so I came up with a quote that beauty is made from the dust of broken hearts and broken dreams. Ponder on that. Okay, we live in this life, this cyclical life that happens all the time. It just pain, hurt, happiness. Sometimes we hold on to our happiness with the fear of losing it. Sometimes we're afraid to be happy because we know that sooner or later it's going to end. But if you get your happiness from things, from happenings, from circumstances, it's temporary. The only permanent thing is joy. And joy comes from God. It comes from being in His presence. Being in His presence means being around Him, being aware of Him, having a relationship with Him. And having a relationship with Him isn't just going to church or being religious per se. It's about involving Him in everything you do. Driving. Driving. As soon as you wake up, talk to Him throughout the day. Just be honest with Him. You don't have to talk to God in a weird format like, oh la la la, but talk to Him like, wow, God, like, going through this, or God, I'm so excited. Thank you for such and such. God has been so great to me recently. Like, this whole school thing, He's been providing. This is real life. This whole school thing, He's been providing for me like never before. And I thank Him for it. Sometimes when I see the trees and the leaves, of course I'm a hippie, I thank Him for that. I thank Him for being able to have a bed to sleep in, for being able to breathe air, having all 10 fingers, being able to be happy sometimes, having shoes, having water, clean water to bathe with, to drink. Little things that we take for granted are things that we should be grateful for. Some of the best ways to be in God's presence is being grateful, gratitude, being grateful for everything. Another way to have joy in life is being in the moment. Children are always in the moment. It's so beautiful. If you're so worried about what's going to happen next or what happened in the past, you're going to live a horrible life. But if you're focused on what's happening now, what happens now is what determines your future. But if you're soaking it in and enjoying it, like when I sit in class sometimes, I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, I'm in class. I'm learning. I'm doing something that I wanted to do, and I'm here. Like, it's so cool being in that present. Like, I am here. I'm existing. I'm talking to you right now. It's beautiful. This is the present moment. That brings so much joy. That's a good way to get out of that cynical, apathetic attitude about life. Just be in it. And even if it's bad, it's like, see, okay, why is this happening? Obviously, there's a reason for it. So instead of asking God, like, why is this happening to me? Ask God, why is this happening to me? What are you trying to teach me? How can this better me, or how can this better people around me? Makes more sense. Last thing, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey getting there. Just like the Wizard of Oz wasn't about Emerald City. Everything that they wanted was gained along the journey. That's how life is. Everything that we pray for and wish for and hope for, the majority of it is gained along the journey. It's not tangible things, it's not money or material things or stuff like that, which really don't matter, have any significance or eternal value. But love and learning and life and light, all those things are gained along the journey. Well, that's enough for now. Just wanted to give you guys a little boost before we have Naked Eyes, October 2nd. So excited to see you guys. I miss you guys so much. We only have Naked Eyes once a month, so it's more convenient for everybody. So I would love to see you guys there. October 2nd. RSVP on Facebook. Inbox me if you need to. Crystal Love Activist. Shalom and love.